And we're back. And the first thing I noticed when I opened this map is there's no roots anywhere. Yes. So if nothing else, we're gonna look into that skull situation. Might be a bit rough to re-explore the entire place based on the idea that the roots are suddenly gone. But they are. The guy can walk in a straight line through places like that now, filling in slightly more map as a result. I suspected I'd have to leave and come back to make the place load, just because it has to change the entire map to account for these being gone.
I'll take that. Stop looking at me funny.
Oh no, it's like a hole in the environment over there. I'm not sure if that's intentional. But yeah, that last guy we met was like closer in voice acting to like the guys from this tutorial intro thing. That was just like iffy. Hey, I've reunited you with your friend. Enjoy.
There. Perfect fit.
Yes, he's never looked happier.
Neat. Looks like a bunch of spellcasting stuff, and the last piece of the Reika set. The Diadem of Reika. 15% crit chance. Damn. Seems like that'll be a good time. So on top of all the base stats for these items, which they seem decent, they get 5 agility, 5 initiative, 5% physical damage bonus, and 50% crit chance. What's your crit chance at now? 38%. As opposed to 18%, 23%, 16%. So there's a gap. The Hessian cloth. 2 wisdom makes sense for me, and other stats are up a bit. This is a better spellbook, hopefully. Whoa. Oh, it looks like it does a lot, but my existing spellbook, it's just that it has an individual status for each individual element going higher, and this one does the same thing. Yeah. Yep. The lesser spellbook, but still not lesser than the minor spellbook. That's a fitting description as I'm sitting here comparing it to the minor spellbook. So yeah, the one I'm wearing is 4 and all 2s. This one is 6 and all 4s. It's just straight up better. There's no competition there. There's no ambiguity. So that was worth the return trip. Got some good upgrades for 2 of my characters, including finishing the set. So that's also good. We'll come back. We can double check some stuff and come back later when I get the thing that lets me deal with these broken bridges that exist both here and the previous zone. And maybe I'll double check for other secrets while we're here that time. But nothing really comes to mind off the top of my head, so I think I'm ready to move on until we get that. Some percentage of the unexplored map is probably accounted for by the chunks of room that I don't have filled in. So this is our first instance of being able to backtrack, technically. We finished that dungeon and it brought us back here, and then also I can go back into that dungeon. Because to be clear, it looks like this. Like there's just this freaky door and a whirlpool down here. Like warriors of virtue or something. It's a really trippy visual. In general, there's a lot of this game that just has really nice visual design, and that's a good example of that, is the cool door in a whirlpool moment. It does bother me how many secrets I'm missing here, but I don't have ideas of where to look for that either. So I guess that wasn't the merchant's hut back there. No, it lies ahead. Are we ready for this? Let's go! Maybe we get like 75% of the way through the game and then we unlock the airship.
They arrived at the merchant's hut, where Sebastian introduced his companions to an elderly woman named Elia.
Elia? This is the Merchant of the Woods?
You were expecting a man, weren't you?
Yes, and someone less wrinkled, with a shop full of weapons.
Forgiving Yoshka's indelible charm, he does have a point. Were you robbed?
Allow me to show you something.
The old woman reached into a brown leather bag beside her. She revealed a fine blade.
My gift to you. The rest will require a fee.
Thank you kindly, but your bag is clearly empty. What more have you to sell?
Empty? Is it now?
She reached into the bag and retrieved a bow. Once more, a spear. A third time, a shield. The group stood in silence as she returned all 3 items to her bag. Her empty bag.
I don't believe it.
This bag reveals items as readily as said items are ready to be revealed. It is that simple.
Years later, your literal bag of tricks still amazes me.
I will provide weapons and armor. I ask only for fair payment.
You speak as though you plan to join us.
You fear I will slow you down?
Let's just say you don't. The question remains, where the hell are we going? We're off to find the sun and send the old man to the god who crafted a legendary sword. A god I'm not so sure I believe in the first place.
Oh, Hadur is very real. The Firesmith King of the Copper Forest.
Do you know how to reach him?
No, but I do know who can. We must go.
As they left the great forest, the old woman revealed their destination, a fortress known as Balványos. There, they would find a Taltos to lead them to the land of the gods. After many miles of complaints from Yoshka, they reached a bridge. A very broken bridge.
This should not be like this.
No, it should not.
A woman drew near. She spoke in a somber tone. A tone of great loss.
A curse has claimed this path.
More curses? And who are you?
I'm Kella of the Stonemasons Guild. Well, formerly.
Your reputation precedes you. Even I know of the stonemasons.
We built Deva Fortress, but not without sacrifice. Great sacrifice.
Yes. A dark enchantment created this castle.
And a dark enchantment has ripped it apart.
Going around Deva will cost us days.
Then we still pass through it.
No, you don't. Not without a fight. A very supernatural one at that.
We're really not done fighting ghosts, are we?
Ha! If it means fulfilling our quests, I should hope not.
Very well then. I will join you, for there is much more to tell.
Uh-oh, I think I'm going to be over capacity on characters now. Who do I want to remove? I don't want to remove my spellcaster because she's both very powerful and my main character. I just gave the archer my entire archery set, which the other character I don't think can even wear. My tank is rather vital, but Yoska has my only single target healing spell, which is relatively effective, because the other guy heals the entire party for what, 15 or 25%, whereas Yoska can heal one person for 50% of their health, which I think has played some role in keeping me going. I guess we'll have to see what role this character can play in the first place. Deva Fortress. The former leader of the legendary stonemasons of Operencia has promised much more to tell regarding the enchanted tragedy at Deva Fortress. But what could that be? All you know at this point is that this place totally creeps you out.
And then they followed an old woman and a mason into a haunted castle. No one is ever going to believe this.
The swirling whirlwind atop this castle. What was that, Keller?
Our destination. My hammer, Stoneheart, is locked in place there. Without it, I'm not only useless to you, I'm also unable to lift the castle's curse.
We need only pass through.
Yet, you will not pass without the curse being lifted. And lift it we shall.
Are you ever going to tell us what actually happened here?
Yes, at least what I know. But let's get moving first.
Do you think we'll see the villager we spoke to? He said he was headed to Deva.
Then he was headed toward his doom.
No great loss. There was something off about him.
While you could use some lessons in empathy, I also tend to agree with your assessment of his persona. Something off, indeed.
Whoa. Surprise experience on everything else. They just casually slipped in a bunch of new mechanics there. I'm also hearing some weird noises. I'm happy to see that we're returning to crazy-ass locations, because that first zone really set the bar immediately. This crazy, not only underwater dungeon, but the water was inverted and filling hallways, or the roof, or the ceiling of the hallways and so on. I think there's a monster in that tunnel. Yeah, I'm glad we're getting weird again. Glad we're getting weird again. Alright. Aelia. The merchant of the woods is now the merchant of our party. What an odd old hag. Aelia seems harmless enough, but then she unleashes some harsh insults upon you. It goes without saying. I like her. I still don't know why she chose to set up shop in that awful forest, but she has certainly led a fascinating life. She claims to have actually been there at Attila's fateful slaying of Thade. From there, she roamed Operencia, selling her goods and hobnobbing with royalty like Count Epor of Balvanios, before there was oversized rat dung everywhere. Aelia carries a sack with her that mysteriously provides us with weapons, armor, and items when we need them, or something like that. Sounds like a product of the underworld if you ask me. She certainly tells enough deranged tales about the campfire to make me feel like she knows that domain of darkness all too well. She especially loves frightening poor Mezzy with her dramatic delivery. Even though I do like Aelia, there's a strange darkness about her I just can't put my finger on. She's hiding something from us. I just wonder when we'll find out what that is. And if it's the kind of thing we even want to know. My one worry about selling stuff to her is just that we do have new characters coming in. And so I'm just worried they might come in under-equipped and I might need to put stuff on them. The curse at Deva has stripped Kella from her hammer known as Stoneheart. Why is it called that? Help her get it back and she just might tell you. So she's not actually a party member yet because she doesn't have her hammer, evidently. What's new over here? An arming sword. 4 to 10 damage. Good melee weapon. No stats on it though. Where'd it go? There we go. Just straight up an improvement for my main hand. %, 15% counter chance and defense versus a decent chunk of damage. Little torn. There's some options around. Whereas you've got this dagger because it gives you agility. And his offhand is empty because his main weapon is two-handed. Okay. So the game just went and dumped a bunch of new mechanics on me back to back there. Let's see. Where's the guide? Guide. Yeah, fast traveling. Boom. Previous locations are now available to revisit via the world map at campfires. That just showed up nonchalantly, just there. No, not even a line of dialogue about it. It just popped up. Elia sells equipment, recipes, and mysterious wares, all from a mysterious source. Access the store at any campfire. Ah, it's another campfire mechanic. Wait, how do I actually do it? Oh, also a campfire mechanic. Okay. So if I want to do fast travel or... Stop that. Or access the shop and do that. Oh, that's an unnerving height we have there. Oh, that's really... That's a trip. Seeing the depth of field there and we're seeing like, oh shit, we're way up here. Age of Ultron over here. Hi. Would you like to attack me? Because if you do, I'd love to get it over with. There is a chest over there. Looks like a zombie covered in fireflies. Ooh, giant bell.
It won't move. It's too heavy.
There's a feather icon on it. Oh yeah, it just straight up is shown up as being a feather on the map. So I'm gonna get some kind of feather that lets me move heavy objects, apparently. Fine leather gloves. What do we got here? 2 agility, 2 initiative. And your gloves are not part of that set. So I give you even more initiative. Oh yeah. Just a straight upgrade for him. And even more gold. Which I can't appreciate the value of until I finally get to a shop. I think this is the yeah, this has to be. This is a really unusual mechanic. This is definitely the longest I've ever played any game before getting to the part where I get to use a whoa.
Their rotting flesh makes these fellows so much more personable.
This is absolutely the longest I've ever played any game that features a shop before finally getting to said shop. The Upper World combo. Restores all characters from incapacitated state and heals 30% of their maximum hit points. Damn. Does it only heal the people that it revives, or does it heal everyone? Burned Walker. Resistant to poison. Immune to control. Spawn. Oh, spawner. Do they make more? Yoska, you cannot catch a break, dude. First thing I did when I got you was make you specialize in poison. And we're like 4 zones deep, right? Because it was... we met Meze when we got to the forest. So the dungeon, the forest, it's the dungeon, the forest, and then the tomb, and now here. All have poison resistant or poison immune enemies. That's the most bizarre balancing ever. It's like it's just a trap if you specialize in poison, because you'll never get to use it correctly. It's so strange to me. Alright. Let's see what I can do to one of you guys, because I do not want that poison getting out. There we go, one down. I very much don't want you to successfully spawn that poison. Come on. There we go.
There is no time to waste.
I am the king of wasting time. You can't stop me. Wow, we leveled up during that boss fight and we're already mostly on our way to doing it again. A magic sphere. Burned walkers. The dead roam the grounds of Deva Fortress. The flesh isn't just rotting, rather it appears to be completely burned. That does mix rather well with the whole torched look of the cursed castle, as much as I'd like it for it to be some sort of deranged avant-garde choice for interior design. What could have caused such a thing? It's curse after curse in this adventure, and still things manage to surprise me. On their own, these burned walkers seem easy enough to defeat, until they spawn these awful sub-creatures from their corroding corpses. Disgusting. Ah, the sub-creatures. Yeah, I hope I can avoid that as much as possible. Sphere carved of wood. Are you a value? You're valuable. Alright. I'll finally get to sell some of these when I get to that vendor. What? Uh-oh.
I sense the presence of the living. Assist me.
Who?
I await your rescue.
Rather presumptuous, isn't he?
And yet I'm very curious.
Uh-oh. Are you a party member? Are you an NPC? Or are you a boss fight or something? Are those sounds coming from him? Because that sounds like something I don't want to have coming my way. Page key. Definitely the same wall repeating 3 times. Oh yeah, that tiling is actually pretty noticeable, isn't it? I get a chance to rest.
I must know more about your lovely intangible armory there, Elia.
My bag. You just want to know if it's really worth stealing.
We met such a short time ago, old woman. Yet you know me so well.
I can't believe I've never asked myself. Where does that bag come from, Elia?
The story of how I attained it is for another day. But would you believe it was found at the battlefield after Thade's underworld invasion?
That actually sounds plausible. If so, it's very likely a tool of the underworld.
Yes, for all we know, Urdug's own personal blacksmith hands things to me through the ether. Having no idea he arms Midwarders preparing themselves for war against his own kind.
How devilish of us.
Well, Urdug literally is the devil. So what goes around comes around, I suppose. Look, I don't know how it works, but as long as it gets its gold in return, it seems to be happy. Speaking of which, you look like you want to spend some right now. My bag offers new items as they are needed. It appears you are in need.
Well, so it really is just a magic bag full of loot. And like no idea how it works at all. I think Hammer Lady is going to be a new party member, but it's hard to tell. Either way, she's not here on the screen. Neither of the new people are. Oh, the cauldron. I still need to craft these things. Restores 85% of energy. Yes. Alright, so plants from the mountain and waterfront cannot be used. Ooh. Okay. That narrows down. The sedative plant is not from the woodland and is not a root. So there is a sedative. It's from the field. Put the crops in the cauldron first, then the healing root second. So, field, crop, sedative. No waterfront, no mountain. So, woodland. Healing. Root. Craft. There we go. I wonder if there's gonna... Oh yeah, there's room for it to be significantly more complicated when they add the second and the third. There we go. A big ol' spike of energy would come in handy for sure. It means that I can get really aggressive with the spell casting in particular. Which character would I most like to give it to, I wonder? I'm a little torn. The top two contenders are obviously my spellcaster, and then my tank actually just spams buffs on the party and can heal them and is soon going to be able to restore their energy. And so the energy restoring character being able to keep their energy up would be handy too. I can kind of go either way. Redolia Brew. Boosts your hit chance and initiative by 25% for 2 turns. Okay. Used plants are sedative and poisonous. First ingredient cannot be a fungus nor a petal. Second ingredient cannot hail from the woodlands, nor the waterfront, nor the field. Okay, that's just really specific. Waterfront, woodland, or field, so it has to be mountain. You might as well just say that if you're going to say all the other ones can't be applied. The ingredient from the field cannot be a crop. The one from the mountain cannot be poisonous. It just straight up says field and mountain are the 2 ingredients. These are really silly puzzles, aren't they? Oh well. Field. First ingredient cannot be a fungus, nor a petal, nor a crop. So it's a root. They're sedative and poisonous. The one from the mountain cannot be poisonous, so the poisonous one is field. And you're sedative. First ingredient cannot be fungus or petal. The ingredient from the field cannot be a crop. Doesn't tell me what the second one could be. This could be a crop, or it could be a petal, or it could be a fungus. I don't think it ever says that this is the answer. Yeah, I think there was a gap there. Cold fire. Ooh, boy. Okay. It's a frost attack. Good to give it to a character perhaps that doesn't have a frost element, just to even things out. Like, say, some asshole that only has poison attacks. Roots and healing ingredients are not necessary for this potion. Okay. First, put in a sedative, last, an antibiotic. The fungus has to be put in the cauldron immediately after the petal. The crop you have to use is not poisonous nor antibiotic. Maybe, is the last one poison then? It sounds like it is. Yeah, because there's no healing, so it is poison. The crop you have to use is not poisonous nor antibiotic. So this is the crop, is the sedative. The fungus has to be put in immediately after the petal. So it's going to be crop, petal, fungus. Before the last ingredient, the mountain plant. Alright. You'll have to use one from the waterfront. Don't plant a plant. Don't use a plant from the field. Alright, woodland. Ta-da! Alright, these are all unlocked now. Before I do anything else, I think I need to get those equipped. Hello, rest of the game, I guess. Yep. Oh, cool. It even gives me the details of how many secrets I found. That's very nice of them. So there's Lake Havana. the Great Forest, and the Tomb of Rekka. And in all three cases, the checkpoint... Yeah, they're showing the bonfire I'll be spawning at. But it's kind of neat to see how the campfires look different in each zone via the screen. Actually, I think that's basically the same campfire. Yeah, it's mostly this one that looks different. That's fine. And this one's back to the first one. Okay. So that's just the castle one. But it tells me like 5 out of 8, 3 out of 10, 0 out of 8, 5 out of 7. How many campfires are in each zone? There's only one in this entire zone. And it tells me map completion. The 4 is common. Anyway.
Welcome to the humble shop of the Merchant of the Woods.
Humble seems an understatement. It's just you and your sack, isn't it?
I need nothing else, and nor do you. Simply view my list and tell me what you like. Assuming you have the gold, of course.
Where does the list come from?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, we would.
So demanding, Yoshka. And you wonder why no one likes you?
I assure you, there are many other reasons.
Well, I try not to dislike someone based on their looks.
Hey!
The list comes from the same place the items do. The same place where the items you sell me return to, I imagine.
We can sell you items as well.
So long as you don't have them equipped, yes. You can even buy them back if you like, for a slight markup.
Ah, indeed. That's the area I've always known.
I'll find a way to surprise you someday, old friend. I promise.
Pleasantly, I hope.
Yes, me too.
Oh boy. Oh, these are big numbers. Okay. This is all the equipment total? You can buy firewood. Isn't that fun? There's an ash wand. 3% critical damage. Don't really care about the actual damage of the attack itself, since I want to cast generally, but there's something there. 2 strength, 10% fire resist. Big old two-handed weapon, if I want to get an even better one for my character. Does he have 40 strength yet, though? I think I might have just capped over that. Expensive. The spiked mace requires 10 strength. Iron shoulder pad. Ooh, 7 and 2. That'll tank somebody up. And leather helmet. Then we have selling options. Let's sell off our valuables. Ah, you have a check all option. It's not worth that much. I assume valuables are meant to be sold. That's usually the case. I'd be disappointed to find otherwise. This is a lot of items to search through this late in the game to try to figure out what I want to get rid of. I'll probably do this. I'll probably do selling off camera at some point, just because I don't really feel like recording it. But I'll slowly, carefully try to get rid of at least the stuff that I'm fairly confident I won't use again, because we definitely have a bloated inventory of nonsense. So I can probably sell a bunch of it off, but it's worth so little. Even if I carefully sell off everything that I don't want anymore, it's probably only going to be worth a few hundred. So the primary source of income is probably going to be just random gold you find, because I've found big chunks of it in the past. 6 to 20. That's a pretty nice, big, scary two-handed weapon. And that's a pretty nice piece of armor. I'll start with just the weapon for now. Even more experience. What did I even do this time? Oh god. That was a lot of updates. Yep, there's the two-headed axe. Just straight up bonuses to my offensive and defensive stats. Yeah, that should be good. Click. All right. Let's actually save this time. Or rest for that matter.